What is going on, Bread fans? My name is Jay of Insane Coaster Junkie, and you are listening to Right on Track, where we are getting right on track to another good time. And today, for this month's edition of the episode here, I've decided to do another interview. Yes, I am recording this in advance because I do not want to procrastinate later. If you know, you know. So I decided to go in my little profile and see who else would I like to interview for the podcast. And if you have not seen the episode with Gilbert 221, I highly recommend it. You don't have to watch that to know this one. It's just a little bit more format reasons and whatnot. So today, in this episode of Right on Track, I'm going to be with one of my more recent friends in the coaster community here, all the way in bumfuck West Virginia, Mountain Mama. This is my good friend Colton, aka Thrill Stop. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing good. That is a great way to put it. Yeah, I mean, I'm in the middle of BFE, West Virginia. That's a great way to put it.
So, for the Bread fans who are not familiar with you, introduce yourself, who you are, and where they can follow you.
Alright, guys. So, I'm Coaster Colton from Thrill Stop. If some of you are like in the coaster Instagram space, you would probably be more aware of my Coaster Colton name. But here about a month ago, I decided to get back into YouTube and kind of go a little more hardcore on the Instagram, so I decided to make more of like a brand name. So Thrill Stop came to mind, and I'm like, yeah, that's original. So changed up all my stuff and made a couple videos. I also rebranded my podcast to the Thrill Stop podcast, and I put episodes on there about once every 2 or 3 weeks, so you can go check that out as well. I'm also on, I'm on every podcast spot, not just Spotify. You can find me on Apple. Yeah, you can find me anywhere. Subscribe to I'm also on my YouTube and my Instagram, which is where I'm most active. But yeah, I'm happy to be on. Happy to be on here with Jay. He's a great guy. You know, also one of my more recent coaster friends, but it's great.
And also, I am doing an episode on his podcast, so look for that episode too.
Yes, it might be out before this one that you're listening to right now, but if you haven't listened to it yet, you can go.
There will be different questions on that podcast, so you kind of have to watch both to see both sides of the story, if that makes sense.
Definitely.
All right, so now that you are acquainted to the ICJ formula, I got 10 questions for you, like I've been doing my first interview, and I'm going to start off real simple here, and I'm sure this is very easy to explain. How did you come across my page, and how did it impact you? So let's start with the first half of that question. How did you end up crossing Insane Coaster Junkie?
I did, but I didn't. So I didn't find Insane Coaster Junkie on YouTube. I actually found him in person. So we'll get more into this later, I'm sure, but I attended KennyCon 35. It was just last year in 2024 with my friend Drake, who's also Jay's friend, probably longer friends with Drake than I am. He's on Instagram at Phantom Thrills, I believe. Go follow him. Shout out Drake. So I go with him, and he's like, "Oh, my friend Jay's gonna join us." I'm like, "Okay, Jay, he sounds cool, you know." And then this motherfucker shows up in a Cleveland Browns jersey.
Oh yeah, pissing off the Pittsburgh fans.
And we're in line for Racer, and he's like, "Oh, my YouTube video's dropping as we speak."
Oh yeah, the premiere.
Like,
I can't remember what video. Wait. It was How to Ride Review Flyer 2.
How to Ride RF2. I was like, "Oh my god, this guy, you know, we're watching a YouTube video." So there's like 6 of us in line watching on different phones, watching his YouTube video premiering How to Ride RF2, and it was one of the funniest coaster YouTube videos I'd ever seen in my life. It's more like sarcastically funny than like corny funny. So I had a blast watching it, and of course we'll get more into it later, but I had a blast that day, and that's how I came across Insane Coaster Junkie. I mean, you know, that was only a few months ago, but I've gone back and watched most of the stuff.
That second half of the question, you answered the first one pretty well, but the second half of that question is, how did that impact you on a personal level?
I'd say, I mean, at the time, because this is when I was kind of going back into YouTube as Coaster Colton, I was kind of looking for a better format for my own video. You know, I didn't want to make a very basic bitch coaster video or coaster vlog because I was filming that day. So I wanted to make sure that whatever videos I was going to make in the future, I wanted them to be funnier. And I think Jay's format of his videos and just the way he does things, and a mix of other combination of things, just works so well. And to me, it's so funny. It's almost like El Toro Ryan, but not. And that's what I love. That's what I love about it. So I feel like if I can have a similar, almost, if you go watch my KennyCon video, it's kind of in the same way, but not. I have my own original twist on that idea, of course, but it's just like a little more like raw, funny.
Yeah, kind of like bootleg El Toro Ryan. I just throw shit in a blender, and I'm like, all right, this thing works somehow.
Very Coaster Idiots like. I mean, I feel like we could be our own version of the Coaster Idiots right here. I mean,
the Yinzers and the Yellers. But I just don't know how I just throw shit like that, because my memes come from anywhere in the most obscure places, and I'm like, all right, this works, this works, and then somehow I make a 20-minute vlog and it blows up.
I mean, my KennyCon vlog did decently well for like not having. I only have like 5 videos on the channel at the time, which I still don't have that many videos. I mean, I've done YouTube off and on for 10 years, like doing just random shit throughout time, but it's only here recently where I'm doing the whole coaster focus thing. You can actually go to my old channel. Now it's just called Colton Owens, which is just my name. And you can find all of my vlogs that I filmed like 2021 into early 2023 before I kind of gave that up. Because I was searching for a way to make coaster videos. And now I think I have, 1, the ability to, and 2, like a funny way to do it. And of course I can get to parks more now. So
right.
It's a lot better.
That is, and we're going to address that later in this podcast, because there are some unique ways, even being far away. But I think it is pretty damn cool that just one visit just dictated everything. I'm like, all right, it clicked, because I was friends with Drake for about 2 years before this. So Colton was a unrecognizable name, and I'm like, oh, another enthusiast. Okay, I'll just meet up with him. But that day, we'll explain that day later, but that day became one of my favorites.
Oh, for sure.
So, the next question here, we're going to get a little bit deeper now into like coaster-related topics. And I think this is a general question that is universal between both podcasts. What is your favorite and least favorite coaster, and explain why for each? So, first off, what's your number one coaster? Just blurt it out.
Okay, my number one coaster as of the moment is Wildcats Revenge.
A very good one.
Only RMC I've ridden, but it's just fantastic. I mean, the pacing is incredible. That thing it's fast. It whips through elements, and it's crazy airtime. I mean, I love inversion, so being flipped every which direction is just incredible. And that ride is it's almost flawless to me. Like, I have not quite found a flawless coaster yet, but Wildcats Revenge is damn near that.
I hate to say this, but that lateral transition into Double Down sucks.
I can see why people don't like it, but I mean, I think...
But the rest of the ride, the inversions, the pre-lift, I mean, everything else is just good on that ride, because I wasn't even supposed to ride that ride in 2024. I remember I told you, I'm like, I'm making a suicide trip to Hershey Park, and let's see how it goes, but Wildcats Revenge is my number 4 coaster now, so for you to have it your number 1 is a very solid opinion.
I'd say that lateral double dip thing, and oddly enough, the 0G stall are my least favorite moments on that coaster. Like, I had never experienced a 0G stall before, so I'm like, that's gonna be really cool. You're hanging upside down. That element almost did take a little too quick.
Yeah,
so, like,
same with Air Force One.
Upside down. It almost felt like a 0G roll, but before you noticed that you didn't flip completely over, you already went through the element, and you were doing that sideways right turn before that double dip thing. So, like I said, the ride's amazing.
Yeah, it's a great ride as is.
Best part of that ride to me is almost the ending where you do like a couple airtime hills and fly into the break.
Oh yeah, that thing just whips you. It feels like the ending to Iron Gwazi to me because of that abrupt transitions and then you just slam in the brakes. It's crazy. Comment this too, but do you miss that seal brake run that the original used to have? You're like,
I wish they would have put speakers on the brake run to play that noise at random times. just for good old time's sake. I mean, if they're able to put a piece of the track over the entrance, I thought they could have.
Yeah, they for shits and giggles even just put that there, but
exactly.
Whatever, I guess.
All of a sudden, the epic, also the station music for that ride.
That is good station music, and it's like it's Wildcats Revenge time in 3, 2, 1.
Yeah. It's Wildcats Revenge time in 3, 2, 1, and then
But we can't agree. Best ride in the park, right?
Oh, easy. Easy. And I haven't even done all the coasters in that park. Easy.
And Skyrush is not open during Candy Lane, and I haven't ridden it with the new restraints. I've only ridden it with the old, so I don't know. Tisk. So we're gonna switch to now your least favorite coaster. I know this might be a little more difficult for you, but what's that one coaster that says, "F this, I'm out of here"?
I'll put a little something into perspective for everyone else. My coaster count is currently 62. I've gotten to a few places, but I haven't really gotten out, and I've been an enthusiast for a while. We'll get into that. If I had to give a least favorite coaster, just out of like, why the hell is Rolly's coaster at Maury's Piers?
Isn't that the Zyklon or whatever?
Yes, but it's dumb. The damn thing is over the shoulder restraints, and them big ass ones, like them probably bigger than Arrows. So imagine taking them janky transitions with OTS restraints. Yeah, I'm a tall guy, headbang galore. Like, yeah, that ride wasn't great, and I got off that, and I'm like, yeah, that was different, but like, probably wouldn't never ride again.
Yeah, as we're recording this, I'm looking this up on RCDB. Why the hell did it have over these restraints are horrible.
I know! That's what I said, they're big!
What are these? I've ridden a couple of them, like Galaxies and Zyklons at fairs or like small parks. None of them have them.
Yeah, kinda, like, I mean, it was jank, it was janky, but I wouldn't call it like rough. Like you wasn't like, taking everything like holy, Like
right.
It wasn't. But all the transitions were bad,
I mean, it looks like they just roller coaster tycooned it and plopped it on an unoccupied plot of land.
I want to talk about Roller Coaster Tycoon ride. That same park, there's a Wild Mouse thing there called. You can look up called the Doo Wop. It's actually themed to the 50s style restaurant across the frickin' boardwalk from it, and that Wild Mouse is jank. Like, that's probably the worst Wild Mouse I've ridden, and I love Wild Mouses. My original coaster name on YouTube was Wild Mouse Fanboy. I swear to God.
I mean, and you're looking at a Wild Mouse hater. I hate Wild Mouses, except Exterminator.
I love them. Oh, Exterminator's the best one.
Yeah, I can't argue, but also, Doo Whopper is made by our world's best manufacturer, Zamperla.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, that ride was also kind of jank. Like them because like it's like a really like kind of tight car. You can kind of look at it and see.
Yeah.
Like, it was just boom, boom. I mean, it was worse than the one at Hershey Park.
I mean, I hate the one at Hershey, so that's saying something. Anyway, question number 3 here. We're going to go shift focus a little bit. We'll come back to the coaster stuff later. So we're going to talk about Thrill Stop here, the actual channel here. What inspired you to start Thrill Stop in the first place?
So, okay. I have always loved filmmaking, as I like to call it. I know we're YouTubers, but filmmaking. I've always had a camera in my hand. Like, I grew up, like, my grandfather, my family loves hunting. They hunt, like, if there's a season in, they're out. And my grandpa would always record in and around us hunting. So I feel like just seeing him and then going back and watching the fact that he had done it since like the 80s, filming stuff, that inspired me to pick up a camera, A. And B, like, I've always been like kind of vocal about my passions and my hobbies. So being able to find a good way to at least show somebody, hey, I exist, I like coasters, and if you do too, cool, we can be friends. You know, I'm not even looking for fame. I'm not looking to get big. I'm just looking to have a good time and to show, you know, whoever wants to see it that, you know, I make videos, I'm funny, and I ride roller coasters.
Yeah, which is crazy because I kind of grew up in the family of cameras too. I mean, my grandfather and uncle did wedding photography for the longest time, so I've kind of been inherited into the camera business, and then I started my own making, so we kind of have the similar background here.
And like, you know, my one grandma has a little camera she'd use on like family vacation stuff. My mom had a camera. My dad also had a video camera he records stuff with, so like, you know, even before, everyone says that it all changed with dawn of the cell phone. No. There was people that recorded anything and everything and had a camera on hand at all times way before the cell phone. And my family is a prime example of that.
I mean, look at the illegal POVs of the 80s and 90s with those really shitty cameras.
Oh, they weren't illegal. Well, they weren't necessarily illegal, but
you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Parks didn't really care back then. I mean, you have like a big camera here, like a Sony camera.
Shoulder mount.
I was like, all right, I'm going to go on a massive wooden coaster with this thing.
Like I said, I've seen a video. Imagine using that shoulder mount on Hercules at Dorney Park. You hit that turn. I don't know how someone would drop that thing. I can just see it now.
Because of how bad that first turn was after the drop.
Exactly.
But no, they'll get into a whole side tangent about camera policies and whatnot, but it's just kind of cool that we come from the same thing, but from different avenues.
Yeah.
And it's just funny because I didn't start on a camera. I started on a 7-inch tablet that barely recorded 480p.
That's how I started YouTube. Now, those videos don't exist. That channel, I got my own channel banned. And the way I did it is because I tried to get monetization even though I had like 70 subscribers. And I put in my real birthday at the time I was like 11. And they banned my YouTube channel.
Because you weren't 13.
So there was videos on YouTube. I wish they were still there of me when I was like 7, 8 years old, just doing random stuff. Like sometimes I wish that those videos would have still existed. That was on a Samsung tablet, you know. And then after that, I made puppet videos for a while. Those aren't on YouTube anymore, but I still have.
What are you, Super Mario Logan? Oh, I'm Jiffy.
In the style of yes, in the style of actually I still have the puppets.
Alright, what going?
Yeah. Well, we did probably not as good at voices, but it was me and my cousin doing it, and then I got into vlogging. We made like a movie thing and kind of killed that off, and then I did the vlogging thing, and then now I'm doing coasters. Yeah. Yeah,
and look at where we are, because as you mentioned earlier, you're celebrating 10 years of filming. I just went through my 10-year anniversary, so technically we've been on the same path line this entire time, but haven't realized it.
Almost 10 years. I'd say I was probably 2015.
Yeah, that's when my first interview, Gabe Gilbert 221, he's around the same time too. So
yeah,
it's kind of funny that I've known content creators that have been doing it for over 10 years, but don't really meet them until much later on.
Mm-hmm. And we never got, and of course in my case, never got big. You know.
Yeah. So on that avenue about this, the second half of the question is, what was the reason for the name change? Thrill Stop. It's a good name. Why did you decide on that?
So, this is a story that could almost be, it's so simple that it could almost be in a Broadway show. I was literally, so my name was Coaster Colton, and I was so just going to stick with it. I was like, no, Coaster Colton, that suits me well. But in my mind for years, I was like, if I could find a good coaster name that just sounded good and didn't like personalize me as much, that would be cool. I was literally sitting in my bed. I think I was looking into planning, I'm planning a Dollywood trip. And I thought it hit me. Thrill Stop. And I'm like, damn, that's a good name. And I'm like, let me see if some other guy on Instagram has that name. Nope.
It's
So
original.
I'm taking that, changed everything, made a logo real quick, changed everything, and
Like,
I'm like, yeah, I'm
Looking
thrilled
at the
about
logo, it's a genius. It's literally a stop sign with a Ferris wheel. Like, I know it's basic, but
that.
it
People
gets the
told me that's
point.
not a good logo. I'm like, how is it not a good logo? It's Thrill Stop. It's a stop sign. Like,
Yeah, and it's literally
that's genius.
it's a fucking stop sign, and it works. I'm like, because when I met Colton, he was still Coaster Colton. The Thrill Stop thing didn't happen until actually more recently, a couple months ago or so. Like, what, a month ago?
Yeah, about a month ago. Yeah.
So this was a recent change. And when he showed me it, I'm like, damn, this is a good change. But
Yeah.
do you feel much better with that Thrill Stop name, and you can do more with that? I wouldn't say like branding, but you could do more. You could be more
And I can
creative with that
incorporate other
naming.
people in that too. You know, I can incorporate other people and other things in my channel as well. Besides that, that's the whole idea. Like, actually, I'll get into more of it later. Because there's probably questions coming up that I'm not going to dive into all that now. So, yeah.
Yeah, but I really like the Thrill Stop name, because when I saw that video, Welcome to Thrill Stop, I'm like, man, this is a good one. Sure, it's not flashy in your face and has the greatest editing in the world, but it's one of your close friends in the community who's passionate about making content. That's all that matters.
We're getting better. And yes, I do use Adobe Premiere Pro for my videos. So,
Respect.
and I'm still learning Premiere Pro.
Respect,
And,
respect.
Yeah, so I'm trying to make my videos better, but like I said, I'm not going for anything too over top quality. I'm just looking for raw and fun. That's
Yeah,
pretty
we're
much all
not
this
looking for
one.
views. We're not getting fame. We're getting all the chicks or whatever. It's just going to a park, having a good time, and promoting it to others who want to watch.
You know, and if I get a couple thousand subscribers eventually,
Cool.
I'll take it. You know,
But it's not a goal. So, question 4, this goes back to your origin stories as an enthusiast, and this is kind of coincides with the previous question of Thrill Stop. How did you become a coaster enthusiast?
oh my! I know you did a 12-minute episode. Your first podcast episode that I've listened to is like your whole journey. If I was to kind of cap how I became an enthusiast, it'd probably be just as long. So I'm gonna try to cut it down as much as I can.
Yeah.
So we'll start this. Okay, I rode my first roller coaster. I'm gonna ballpark this. It was either in 2011. I possibly rode my local fair's Dragon Wagon in 2011. But if I didn't ride that first, I do know for sure that I rode the Wacky Worm at Del Grosso's in 2012. I do know that. Or 2011. 2011,
Ooh,
2012,
okay,
I rode
not a
that
bad
Wacky
start.
Worm at Del Grosso's. And there's actually pictures of me from a school field trip. I was in like preschool. But from the get-go, I liked rides. You know, and of course, it was kiddie rides, but the kiddie rides at that age, even the ones that spun a lot, well, not the ones that necessarily spun a lot, because I was afraid of getting too dizzy, but I ended up realizing that I have a pretty good stomach. But learned that later on. But I was like, yeah, so as a young kid, I'm like, yeah, rides are cool. But, and also, apparently I went to Outer Wild when I was young too, but I don't remember that. But apparently I didn't do any of the coasters, so I can't say roller coaster as my first grad. But, anyway. So, then, I didn't really do any other parks after that. Skipped 2016, went back to Del Grosso's, and did their Wild Mouse, which was the biggest coaster I'd done at the time. And I enjoyed that. Next thing. So then, go down to, I spent a week at Virginia Beach. And on the way back, we do Busch Gardens. And we're kind of walking around the park. See, I'm looking at Griffin, and Alpengeist, and Apollo's Chariot, and I'm like, yeah. No.
Shit, I'm not gonna ride this.
Nope. I don't even know if I was. I mean, I've always been tall like, as a young kid, I was always tall for my age. I don't know if I even still met the height requirements for those yet, but I was like, even if I do, not doing it. Lucky for me, only person in my group that would ride rides is my mom. She doesn't do any rides that I don't. So if I decide I'm not riding anything, she ain't going to either. My dad doesn't like rides. I think my grandmother was with us. She doesn't like rides. So, we eventually get around, and what I always loved when I was a kid was maps. Loved maps. So I had the park map, and I seen a coaster in the back left section of the park, Oktoberfest. See where I'm going here. This was 2016, and it was Verbolten, but didn't know anything about the ride. We get over towards that way, and I watched Price is Right as a kid, and they had like Plinko. You have like Plinko game on Price is Right. Well, parks have a similar game that or a wheel, and you can win stuff. I know like Kings Island has like a wheel game. You spin it and you win a skip the line. But this one was Plinko and it had different things. But one of them was it was like 2 skip the lines. It was like $5 to play, $10. So I get to play. I drop my Plinko chip down, and I drop it and I get into the fast. I get like the fast pass one. So they give one to me. I think they might give one to my mom. I know they did. And I'm like, I want to ride that coaster over there, or that ride, whatever I called it. Of course, I said not knowing about the ride, because what I seen on the park map was the ride left the station, winded through a tunnel, came out, did a little drop, did a couple other turns, that was it. Well, get in the line, and of course we skip the line, so we don't have to go through all the BS of the Verbolten queue. And hop in, we're probably about second or third of the back, and we leave, turn, launch. I didn't know you could do that. Did not know you could launch or accelerate on flat track. And actually, Verbolten goes uphill when it launched that first time. So we launch into this building, and there's flashing lights, and there's turns, and there's shit, and I'm like, I'm freaking the hell out. You know, have no idea what's going on. And
however, here's where the twist comes in. You get into a building, you stop, and it's like, what the Sigma? I'm gonna die?
Bruh.
Here, I wasn't worried about death. I was just scared I was just scared. Then, eventually it stops. And for some reason or another, my mom told me we was going to drop. I know she probably didn't know that drop tracks existed. Because at the time, this was the only coaster in America that did it.
Right.
At the time. So, that was the big thing, that this coaster did a drop track. We didn't know. Boom! Dropped. And that freaked me the fuck out. But then it kind of stops a second, and I can see a little bit in front of me. I'm like, oh, this ain't gonna be too bad. So it drops, launches again, turn, and then you're up on that top of that thing. That drop is only 90 feet. It was actually 89. But I was like, holy shit, we're up high. Boom, drop.
Do the Big Bad Wolf section and the ride.
And now, I would say after that drop, I actually did kind of enjoy the couple other turns. Flew into the brake run, and I wasn't happy. And because
what? You weren't happy?
No. I felt funny feelings. My stomach dropped. I didn't like any of that. I got scared on a coaster. This gets better. So, get off. I ended up doing Grover's Alpine Express, which is the kiddie coaster at same park. And that ride didn't freak me out as much, but I was still already so scared that ride kind of did scare me. Even though if I would have only done that coaster, I would have been fine. But since I did the bigger coaster, I was still shook up. So we get back to the hotel, and knowing me, I like to relive my memories. So I go on YouTube and find a video of this coaster. So I watched the Verbolten video, then I watched the Griffin video, then Loch Ness Monster, then Alpengeist, then Apollo's Chariot. I watch all the POVs. And then I'm pretty sure I probably stumbled upon Coaster Studios Verbolten parody video, which I thought was hilarious. And I got sucked into these coaster videos, and I'm like, man, this is cool. So all of a sudden, I'm like, yeah, I like coasters now. But the last coaster I rode, I got scared the hell out of. So, go a couple years, 2019, I forget which park I did first. I think it was Kennywood. I enjoyed Jackrabbit, I enjoyed Racer, and that's about all I rode that day. and I think I ended up going somewhere else that year in a couple coasters. But then kind of built upon itself. Oh, also I went to Hershey Park. I kind of the first like breakthrough for me was Super Duper Looper. After that, I was a little bit better about it, but it still took a while. Pretty much till up to a few years ago to really get where I could ride about anything. But now, I love coasters, and about anything about them. Of course, like I said, Blockbuster is my favorite coaster, so I must enjoy thrilling coasters at some level. But yeah, I don't think anyone would have ever expected me to ever enjoy roller coasters like I do, especially if they ever knew about what happened the first time I rode a bigger coaster. But yeah, that's how I became an enthusiast. Just kind of got scared and stuck down a rabbit hole on YouTube, and here we are.
And I don't know, my autism must have kicked in or something, because I kind of missed something, but this wasn't my next question. That was the second part of it. What was the coaster that got you into it?
Super Duper Looper probably broke me out of being terrified of roller coasters. So I'd say that's probably the coaster that got me into it more. But I'd say the coaster that really got me hooked was probably like Jackrabbit at Kennywood when I rode it in 2019. That's probably the ride that kind of actually like hooked me in, and I'm like, yeah, I like this. That, or during COVID, I kind of took a break from the whole coaster thing like entirely, kind of left it off entirely. Then went back to King's Dominion. Went to King's Dominion in 2021, and when I rode Grizzly there, I love Woody's, and that coaster is what sealed the deal. I'm an enthusiast. I love this thing. And this is back when it was rough. Like, my dad rode it with me, and it bruised him. Like, it was... But I rode it twice. I said, I love Woody's. I love that thing. I can't wait to get back on it, probably next year. And, yeah, it's just... Man. Like, that's what got me back into it. I'm like, this coaster thing's fun. And then I became an ACE member, and I've done so many cool things already, and it's already going even better. But I'll hopefully get into that more later, because I know when you get to some more questions.
Well, speaking of Ace, next question actually, because we're going to talk about the day we met, and that we're going to just recap this, because this thing was the most damn fun day I ever had at Kennywood. Why was KennyCon important for both the friendship as us and us as content creators?
I kind of talk about the beginning of the day, where me and Drake show up at about 8:15. ERT starts at 9, and did we beat you there?
I can't remember, because I was also there with Owen, Tyler, and Caleb.
You were there with Owen, Tyler, and Caleb. Yeah, so we get there, and we kind of all meet as a collective, and we take a group photo. I'm not in the group photo. I'm like in it, but I'm not. I kind of got cut out of that group photo, but you can see Drake in the back.
Oh, I missed it entirely.
Yeah, so we go in, and we kind of all agreed we're going to get on So, by the way, the ERT was Exterminator, Thunderbolt, and Turtlebug, which Turtlebug had just reopened from renovation. So, we all hightailed it to Exterminator first, because we knew that was going to get filled up.
Yeah, because if you've been to Kennywood on any given day, you know the capacity is shit.
Hell yeah, that ride has horrible... And that station is not... that queue line's not amazing.
No.
They tried to theme it, but now it kind of like a dungeon, so it's kind
of
weird.
And the TVs recently got restored, but it's not a fun queue to wait in.
Oh, definitely not. It's hot, So anyway, we got that immediately. We got that out of the way. It's said and done. And then we go and do Thunderbolt. And we kind of... At least me and Drake do. Well, we kind of all do, but then eventually you think, did y'all go do Turtle or go do Exterminator again or something? Y'all left for a minute.
Yeah, we marathon Thunderbolt for a little bit. I wanted to ride Turtle just to get that out of the way and then resume Thunderbolt.
Yeah, but eventually there's also a picture out there of me and Jay, because it was like me and Drake, and then Jay and Owen was like the main of us that were marathoning Thunderbolt together. Because Caleb and Ty got on the other train.
Yeah, we were on opposite trains, so we didn't even know, because they were marathoning Thunderbolt exclusively.
Yeah, they did it. They were exclusively marathoning Thunderbolt, so they got like 30 some rides. They got 20 some, 30 some rides. We ended up getting. I got.
I got, I believe,
I got
7. I need to look at my ride count again.
Yeah. I know. I got like 11.
We got a lot within that hour.
Yeah, we still got a lot for ERT. Then park opens. Y'all go do Phantom, and I decided to go take pictures because like last year, since I started carrying my camera around, I was kind of a dick about it. So I'm like, oh, I need photos for my archives. I ended up not riding Phantom that day. I'm a dumbass. I ended up not riding Phantom that day, but y'all did like 2 or 3 times
I
in a
hate
row.
to say, you are a dumbass for missing Phantom.
Yeah, that was completely dumb of me to not just go ride Phantom with you all. I don't know what the hell I was thinking about. I'm gonna take pictures. And because of that, all of us missed the group picture. There was a group picture. Drake claims that y'all were on the train when that was one of the lift.
No, I did not recall anything. I can't even remember because I originally was going to film this and put it on the channel, but now I don't even remember the order I did things.
You know, I'm dicking off with my camera, taking pictures. I did some good pictures and videos, but missing out on a ride wasn't really worth it.
And basically, one of the best coasters in the state. On top of it, yeah, that kind of hurts you a little in the crotch a little bit.
Yeah. So maybe next year, if Phantom's on the ERT list for KennyCon, cross my fingers, I will be Marathon.
And I remember this day was one of the busiest days I've ever seen at Kennywood. That park was slammed, and it was the first day of Fall Fantasy, the high school marching band parades.
It was a Saturday in August. It was. Now I don't know why I was thinking, because it ended up downpouring.
Yeah, the weather was shit because they said like an 80% chance of thunderstorms at one point.
And I was like, people ain't gonna show up. There's a chance of thunderstorms. People still rolling their motherfucker. I don't know if everyone else thought the same thing, and then everyone showed up, but like, there wasn't that many there wasn't that many Acers there, really. There's probably a couple.
I was like 150 in that group or something, like around 100 to 150 Ace members.
It wasn't that many, really. But so like that park was still slammed. So after y'all did Phantom, and I was dicking off my camera, we ended up going and doing Skyrocket, and like that, I feel like, is that when you kind of like wasn't big on Skyrocket and your opinion changed or something?
It's a love-hate relationship with that ride, honestly.
Yeah, I love that ride. That ride to me is like there's 2 coaches of that park that is pure fun: Skyrocket and Racer. Like Jackrabbit is, to me, is not necessarily. I mean, it's fun for sure, but because it has that intense airtime, it kind of, to me, blows out like, oh, fun. To me, fun is like you're giggling the entire time. You know, to me, definitely Racer's that way, and Skyrocket's the other one. I mean, a lot of people get intimidated by the inversion stuff, but for me, I just laugh the whole way through.
And speaking of Jackrabbit, this is where the behind-the-scenes tour comes in. Because this ended up being disappointing because they hyped it so much. It's like, oh, we're going to go in the infield of Steel Curtain.
We're going in the infield of Steel Curtain.
And do all this fun shit and like whatnot. And then at the last minute, they're like, oh, due to ongoing construction with the lawn ornament, we're going to do a...
They weren't.
Which weren't. Spoiler alert. S&S, fix your damn ride. We ended up doing a maintenance tour of the maintenance shed. And I'm like, what the hell?
Which the maintenance shed was cool.
It was cool to see some behind the scenes and restoration of Old Mill. But it just felt anticlimactic. I mean, we got some pretty good photos of Racer and especially Jackrabbit.
Yeah, we got different views and pictures of Jackrabbit, and I got some good photos of Racer. So I'm not gonna give him too much crap for it. But like, if you say all day, oh, you're gonna get your Steel Curtain infill, look at some construction shit, and then be like, oh, you can't go see it now. Come the hell on. So, and also, their dinner was kind of
I hate to say it, the dinner was ass. I don't know what happened.
I was like, wow, what the fuck?
The dinner was not great. I mean, even the potato patch fries that I had was just...
Oh, yeah, we ended up eating... Okay, so that's another thing. So, once again, I missed Phantom. We all got potato patch fries, and then Drake, that motherfucker, was like, oh, let's go ride Phantom.
Yeah, because I ended up doing that short with him where we speed run Phantom.
Yeah, and then we all speed ran Phantom, and I'm just sitting there with like 3 things of potato patch fries, and I'm like, well, fuck you guys.
I'm like, now that I realize that, I felt like I was a dick. I mean, not a great start to the.
Drake's like, oh, we're gonna speed run Phantom, and it was funny seeing y'all run away and Drake has his little phone out. And he's like, let's, and watching it later, I see y'all doing that like first little clip, and I'm like, oh, I'm just sitting back there with
you and Owen with the fries and whatnot.
And I'm just like, okay, this is how it goes. So y'all go do your little Phantom ride, which once again I missed out on it again. And then another thing that I missed out on, which I'm kind of glad I did, I'll tell this is one of the funny stories today, is y'all decided to ride
Pittsburgh Plunge, wasn't it?
Spin Invasion. So these MF were like, oh, I spin Invasion. I'm like, hell no, I barely, that thing's uncomfortable for me. Which we also did Area 360, and it's just as uncomfortable. But for some reason, doing them flips is actually like relieves the restraint for me. But Spin Invasion's awful for me. So I just said no, y'all do that. It ended up fucking downpouring. It ended up starting downpouring these guys, and I'm sitting in a gift shop like, ha ha ha, look at you dumbass.
Yeah. And then we came back, and we were like, that was not a good idea.
Y'all were drenched. I'm sitting in a poncho. I brought ponchos. Into the park.
Just in case something happened. And you were smart about that because of what happened.
We thought it was going to rain that day. So I'm like, I got a poncho on. And then about that time when we decided to go over to Pittsburgh Plunge. I'm like, I've never done Pittsburgh Plunge. And then you're like, let's do it. I'm like, hell yeah. And then we turned that little right turn and about to go down the drop. And I'm like, oh, I'm screwed. This poncho ain't doing shit. Boom! And I just look up. Big ass.
There's just a big waterfall, and it was like. Damn it!
And then what do? We do it again.
We do it again because Jackass. Hi, my name is Jason Manick, and we are watching Jackass, and today we're doing Pittsburgh Plunge.
Plunge. And then we do the exact same thing. I did that same turn, and I'm like, oh god.
And what was sad though is that you and Drake ended up leaving early.
Well, about that part of the day, which actually this is when the dinner happened. I thought the dinner was the dinner was after the maintenance tour. We eat dinner, and then Drake once again I missed another Phantom ride. Drake's like, I'm gonna grab Phantom. Then I was talking to you. He's like, well, we had just met.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, go ahead. But it also in my head, I'm like, fuck, I gotta leave. I got a 3-hour drive home.
Yeah, you gotta get back to Mount Mama Land, so...
EFE, West Virginia. Almost heaven. So, I take Drake, an hour home, which is kind of heading home for me, but it's still kind of out of my way.
Yeah.
So I gotta take Drake, I stayed at his house the night before. So I took Drake home, and then had to drive 2.5 hours, almost, back south to my place. I got home about 10 o'clock, which is about the time ERT ended up ending.
So I knew and this is where I can reiterate, because once he left, the parade happened and whatnot, and then a second round of downpour came to the park. Owen and I are just looking at each other, pretty much F-bombing Kennywood's rain policy, because you know how BS it is. And so we were nervous that ERT was going to be canceled. We were in a state of limbo. I was like texting him, like, dude, well, you were driving, but obviously you would hear it later. I was panicking. I'm like, fuck. I am not going to get our ERT. So me, Tyler, and I were like panicking because we want our Phantom rides. And it's like, all right, they'll let us up in the station, but no guarantees you can ride. So we were waiting in the station for like 45 minutes. The park shut down at 8:45 because Kennywood was just like, we give up at this point. So we're sitting there at the station, not knowing what's going on. And then finally at like a little after 9, we get the green light for an hour of ERT, but the Phantom broke down. So I'm like, oh. So it's like just as the good stuff was about to happen, that happened. So we had to wait for maintenance to get here, and then maintenance was working on it. They sent some empty cycles. Finally, at like 9:15, ERT starts. So I ended up getting 8 rides by 10 o'clock. And I'm like, all right, I'm satisfied with this. Yeah, it was a bit abridged, but we finally got our ERT rides. So, and Phantom at Night is another world. I know you haven't done it yet, but I highly, highly, highly recommend it for that alone. But it was you made the good call of leaving Kennywood
Why?
when you did, because we got stuck with the rest of it. And I basically had a very wet, cold drive back to the area. 2 hours later, it's like past midnight, I'm home. I'm like, all right, was that worth taking off? Absolutely. Yet I still had to go into work the very next day. And I'm like, damn, I wish I could relive that over again. So KennyCon was awesome to get to. I'm so glad. I know we spent a long time talking about it, but let's just say that was an important visit inside and out for all of us.
Oh, definitely. That was a life-changing experience for especially me and you, and I think Drake definitely enjoyed that just as much.
Yeah, I wish you were there for the ERT, but again, I'm going to say this here, not to be rude, you did make the good call to leave. And for the next question, where is that? There it is. Question 6. What is your most memorable park experience outside of what we just mentioned? So let's throw KennyCon right off the window. What is your most memorable park experience outside of that?
There's 2 answers to this question. The good, Kings Island the same year. Kings Island last year.
Ooh.
Kings Island's a great park. And, I wrote, my favorite coasters out of the park was Beast and Mystic Universe. Amazing. Okay? I'll make this one quick because there's not much I can say. Bad. My last coaster visit of this year, which was Idlewild and then an attempt at Kennywood. So, me and Drake, once again, pan up to Drake. The idea is, okay, we're gonna go to Idlewild for about an hour. Get the credits, get the coaster. We have the credits.
Yeah, because Wild Mouse was down.
Well, Wild Mouse is still down, but regardless, get Roller Coaster again. Leave, and then because he had a ticket, I had a season pass. And then we're going to go to Kennywood and do a few hours of Kennywood and then possibly come back to Idlewild for its last couple hours. So, because this was around haunt season.
Oh, yeah, I remember this story.
That's the kicker here. This is haunt season. So,
obviously, during haunt season, they increased their security and their chaperone policies and whatnot.
So, me and Jake get there. I completely forgot he was 16. I was 17 already. He was 16 still. I got him my season pass. No, actually, it wasn't my season pass ticket. Some random lady like, oh, we don't need this ticket. I'm like, okay, well, we'll use this. Go up there, and she asked me how old we are. I almost had to tell Drake to lie and say that he was 17.
Oh no!
But I said 17. He said 16. He wouldn't let him in.
Ouch!
I could go in. He wouldn't. So I'm like, oh shit. So I'm like, okay, backup plan. So I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna leave you out here while I go inside and do coasters. I'm not doing that.
That is unfair.
I'm like, okay, I think I might have told her. I said, okay, we'll figure something out. I was like, let's see if we can get someone to be our guardian to get us in. I asked one group of people. They acted weird about it. They walked away, and I'm like, fuck. I said, we'll go back to Idlewild. We're about an hour away, so we'll go back to Idlewild. We ended up going back to Idlewild, and that was a good call. We ended up going back to Idlewild, and we spent the last we did Idlewild till close. Took them home, and then on the way home, I ran out of gas.
Oh shit! You didn't tell me this part of the story.
In the middle of right at the Mason-Dixon line. So my dumbass car, the gas tank is messed up on it. If you let the gas tank go below what your gauge says half tank, it might shut off on you. And I was aware of this when I bought the damn thing.
Right.
So it started creeping. So I tried to find a sheet. There's a sheets in the town before the state line, because I knew at the state line there's a pilot station. So I couldn't find the sheets at the last exit on 219 before it became a two-way road again. So I'm like, damn it, I'm gonna have to try and make. But I said, well, I should be able to make it to that pilot station. Because actually at the time I wasn't aware of that the whole gas shutting off thing. So I get about 3 miles out from that pilot gas station, and my car starts bogging down. I'm like, fuck, this thing done broke down. And I pull over, and I'm like,
damn,
I ran out of gas. This damn gas tank's faulty. I ran out of gas. Or kind of ran out of gas. So I think my flasher's on, and then a car pulls over, and then a cop pulls over. I'm like, okay, cop's here, you know? I go to the cop, and I'm like, hey man, I ran out of gas. He's like, okay. I said, I know there's a gas station right up here. I said, if you can get me that gas station, I can buy gas cans of gas to get over there. And he gets my ID, and he's like, well, you're a minor. Well, he asked me, oh, I spent the day at Ottawa with my friend. He lives not too far from here. He said, oh, Ottawa's a cool place. Okay. So
it's like the story when I was pulled over. Hey, use the Conneaut Lake Park ticket.
so he's like, well, since you're under 18, I'm going to have to talk to your parent so you can ride in my squad car thing to go up here. I'm like, okay. So I'll put it on the phone with my dad. Actually, my dad's on my grandpa's, so it's on my grandpa's house line on my dad with the phone. So he talks to the cop for a minute. Of course, my dad's like, yeah, go for it. What the hell? So hop in this guy's cruiser, and we go up there, get a gas can, fill it with gas. This guy thought I was some sort of dumbass the entire time, which made me feel like an asshole. When we get back, my car's still there. I put gas in my car. Thing fires up my thank God. I said, thank you. I made it to that gas station filled up. Or most of the way filled up. And then I ended up getting gas again closer to home and then got home. But, yeah, I kind of...
That was a disaster.
Yeah, so that was the one... That was technically my kind of worst theme park day because I had a lot go wrong that day. And yeah, but it was still a fun time. I made it home safe, and
as long as you made it there in one piece, that's all that matters. Because God forbid you weren't, you're shit out of luck. But I mean, I've had my memorable park moments. I can't really pinpoint one myself because, well, there's too many. I have a robust collection. You have your good days, you have your bad days, and case closed. So, talking about driving and whatnot, this is a good one since you are pretty much in bumfuck West Virginia. And if you know West Virginia in the RCDB world, there is barely any parks. You have 3 of them in Camden Park, the one at the zoo, and the Mountain Coaster. That's it. So with that, how do you adapt to not having a park close to you?
So I'll put you into his perspective here. So I'm about in the part of West Virginia that is about furthest. Also, it's about furthest from any West Virginia park. So it's about you can only go about 30 more minutes into West Virginia to be further away from Camden Park than I am. We're on the complete opposite sides, pretty much. I'm about 2 hours from Ottawa, 2.5 from Lakemont and Del Grosso's, about 3 from Kennywood. No, 2.5 from Kennywood. 3 from King's Dominion, and 4 from Camden Park, and 5 from Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, and 2.5 from Six Flags America, but I haven't been there yet. That's probably this year. So, how I adapt is you don't get used to it. All you can do is get used to it. All you gotta do is be able to be. You can't really wake up on a day and decide you're going to Kennywood. I've only done that once.
Yeah, this is not Erie, Pennsylvania, where I'm from, where I have a park pretty much in any direction. West Virginia, there's nothing.
You can't wake up and decide you're going to a park. So, it's a lot of planning ahead of time, being like, okay, I'm gonna go to. For me, a lot of times it's Kennywood. I'm gonna go to Kennywood on this day in like a week or two. If it's in the summertime, maybe it's on a weekday. If I can get off from whatever job I'm working. If not, it's on a weekend. Which also sometimes can be like this year, if I get the day off, which I usually could. My day trip parks are Kennywood, Ottawa, Hershey, Six Flags America, if you really wanted to, but the DC belt was a bitch. And maybe King's Dominion if you really wanted to do it.
Right.
And Busch Gardens Williamsburg's cutting it. You probably wouldn't do that in a day trip for me. It's pretty cutting it. Same with Camden Park. And then Del Grosso's. Saving up money and trying to get people to go with you so you can get a hotel or something if you need to. Doing more parks when you do go on trips. Since you don't have the convenience of one. So yeah, it's just a lot of planning. A lot more planning. That's your main way of adapting to that. And I'm sure there's people out there. I've not really met too many people that have this issue, but I know there's probably people out there that are in the same issue. I'd feel bad if people live in the middle of fucking Idaho.
Or Wyoming, or God forbid Hawaii or Alaska.
Yeah, well, Hawaii, you're probably ain't gonna be no enthusiast unless you live in the States or somewhere at one time. But yeah, so it's adapting. Definitely adapting.
Yeah, because I've known enthusiasts from pretty much all lengths of the country. Indiana, Florida, and they have credit counts from as low as like 30 or something to 700. And I mean, no matter what, they have ideas. I mean, you're a little bit younger. And I will say, you will get to parks.
Oh, yeah.
Just let it be time. I mean, I didn't get to many parks until I was much older. And I've been taking traveling seriously for the past couple years. If you plan it out correctly and you have the money for it, absolutely go do it. But for West Virginia, for me, like, put it in my perspective, from Erie, it's about 7 hours to Camden. I'm not going to do that.
Not worth it.
Not one chance. The Mountain Coast, I mean, the Havana Zoo, that's technically possible because it's only like an hour or so from Kennywood, but it's so out of the way that it's not even worth it. Any enthusiast who's diehard would probably go insane, but you have adapted to it pretty well. And for that, that's damn good dedication, and I respect you. My next question here, this one's a good one. You were talking about some bucket list things. Let's talk about those. What are some bucket list coasters you have in mind?
I'll tell you some Continental, and I'll tell you one international. I have a big one.
Mm-hmm.
So, for Continental, I will say Holiday World, Hollywood Nights. That is the big one, and I am most definitely going to do it in 2026. I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to go there in 2026. If I can get a ticket in December for it, and I hope y'all can join me for that. And then after that, I'm going to try to go up to Indiana Beach and then Six Flags Great America. Chicago, Illinois, oddly enough, has been a bucket list destination since before I was an enthusiast. My dad's a Cubs fan. I'm a Cubs fan. I want to go to a game at Wrigley Field. So if I can be up there at the same time the Cubs are home, I'm going to a game at Wrigley, no doubt about it. I mean, BGT is definitely on the list. I mean, I'm thinking a little more reasonably, but of course, Busch Gardens Tampa's on the list. Like you said, California's on the list. Coney Island Cyclone's on the list. Give me new coasters, and they're probably on my bucket list somewhere. You know, one of my bucket list coasters actually. I didn't mention this. Excalibur, Funtown Splashtown in Maine.
Ooh, that's an interesting one.
Good. Yeah, I want to go. My ex-girlfriend went to Maine without my ass. This one we was dating, and they drove right past son of a bitch. I'm glad that she didn't stop. I was mad, but yeah, they were right up there. I'm like, man, if I would have went, I was going to Funtown Splashtown. Excalibur looks good.
It's weird that we have good bucket list coasters, but Excalibur was like the last coaster I would think from you.
Yeah, well, obviously, I'm a Woody guy.
So, talking about future plans, bucket list things, this is a good segue. If you're comfortable sharing, which I assume you are, what are your 2025 trip plans? What do you have in store for the 2025 season for Thrill Stop?
So, Dollywood is in the works. As of right now, it's probably going to happen. I'm going to get back. I've not been Dollywood since 2018. I need most of the credits there. I'm going to do Dollywood. I'm going to do a Smoky Mountain completion of the mountain coasters. I've been on 2 of them. I need 11 others. I'm going to do completion. And then, of all places, I'm going to try to go down and do Lake Winnebagosa.
Oh, Lake Winnebagosa, that little gem.
Yeah, and people don't get there, and a lot of people don't have them credits, and Cannonball looks like a really fun coaster, and I'm gonna get down there and give it some love. I mean, I'm definitely gonna vlog it, but I said if I get down there for that, I definitely will, and that could potentially be the trip that I hit 100 credits on, depending on what happens before that. Of course, I've already talked about the fact that I'm going to Dutch Wonderland for the first time in June. At that same time, here's one that may happen. I might get back to Dorney Park. I'm gonna not do Hershey and try to do Dorney's. I need some credit recovery there too. So Dorney, and then Six Flags America will probably happen in May when I go see AC/DC in DC.
Good pun there.
Yeah, quite literally, AC/DC in DC.
With the air conditioning, with the AC on, right?
No. We're in the Commander Stadium, the team that just blew it.
The curse of Dan Snyder.
that's what I know. And of course, my little gimmick for this year is that my trips are part of my Shoots and Coasters tour. So water parks are included. So I have already been in talks with Massanutten Resort, which is not too far from me in Virginia. I'm going to get some hopefully exclusive coverage of their new mountain coaster, Mountain Mayhem, and I'm going to do their water park while I'm there. I'm going to try to do Soak City at King's Dominion, and I'm going to try to do maybe Dollywood Splash Country or whatever it's called while I'm down there. Maybe a couple other water parks. Get some water parks too, and yeah, some other fun adventures. I'm going to try to get it all on the channel about anything I do that's like any type of thrill. You know, thrill stop. This is your stop for thrills. Which kind of my new tagline, I guess, that just came up with on the spot. So, yeah. There you go. So, there's 2025, pretty much.
And you know me, I'm going to be watching all the videos and promoting whatever you got. It's going to be a fun one for you. It kind of reminds me of how I did the tourism and fairground arcs back when I did my channel more full time and incorporating other fun activities besides amusement parks. But I kind of like how you do the water park aspect. I mean, I do have Splash Lagoon literally 10 minutes down the road from me, but at the same time, Splash Lagoon is small, overpriced, and not that fun.
Jay, I haven't done too many water parks. See, when I go to parks, I never do the water parks because I'm a coaster, I'm a rides guy. So the fact that if I can try to get some of these water parks in, that one diversifies my content, gives me more.
Yeah, it gives you more variety.
And also, maybe try my hand in water slides. Like, I've never been a water slide guy, but I'm gonna give some a shot. I'm also another one I didn't mention is Laguna Splash up next to Del Grosso's. I'm gonna do that one for sure.
Actually, I might do that if I do Del Grosso's.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking about spending a half day.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, that'll be fun. That'll be fun.
Yeah, and I don't do water parks often. I mean, if it's a decent enough water park, I will do it. I mean, the water parks I've done outside of my home park is literally Hurricane Harbor at Darien Lake and Seabreeze's water park. That's about it. I've never done Cedar Point Shores. I never did Sandcastle or Soap Zone or any of that. And how I do water parks is that I'm there from like an hour, 2 hours max, and I leave. I don't really fully grasp a water park. I don't really give myself time because I'm more prioritizing the coasters. But like Darien Lakes Water Park, I take my time because they got a good lineup. Waldameer has a good lineup. I can vibe with it, but like with Seabreeze, for example, I was done. Like after an hour, I was like, I can't do this. But hey, to each their own. So the next and final question. Sometimes I ended off on a rather sad note for my first interview, but I'm going to end off on a controversial note. So get your brain thinking here. Your most controversial coaster opinion you have that other enthusiasts would disagree with.
Oh, I already have one.
Oh, let me hear it.
Beast, #1 Woody.
What the fuck?
Over.
What the fuck? Are you kidding me?
Over Mystic Timbers.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Hold the phone. You say that is better than Mystic Timbers?
Hell yeah.
What?
Dude.
What?
Dude, you gotta understand for a second. Like,
all right. What's your reasoning? Let's back up here. What's your reasoning?
The thing about the Beast is, like, it's just so fast, and you're going through the woods so fast, and that Rose Bowl is so intense and bone crushing, and you're like, holy shit, this 1979, and to imagine that they've added more banking to that, I couldn't imagine that was like a 1979. Like, to me, okay, pause for a second. I'm gonna give the benefit of the doubt here. I'm a bigger guy, so for me, Millennium Flyer trains aren't the most comfortable, but I try to ignore that as best I can. The only thing that makes it uncomfortable is that airtime doesn't happen.
I can agree with this because White Lightning barely had airtime.
With Mystic Timbers, I am, the click you need to ride the ride is the only click I can get. I have big legs, and so for some of the airtime, it was definitely powerful, but my ass wasn't off the seat. So I was kind of imagining airtime, which is okay because I've gotten used to that. I'm like, well, there's definitely airtime. I just didn't get it. But I can tell it's there, so it's there. Yes, the Beast kind of lacks airtime. But the intensity, the speed, the going through the woods, the evening rain ride I would have got a night ride, but I don't know if the park closed down or not, but I got rained out, was just, and I had been told so much about the Beast. I was kind of going into the Beast, and also I had a fast pass, so I didn't have to wait in the line for it. Oh, excuse me, but
that helps.
The whole thing, well, yeah, definitely, but the whole thing, it had an hour line, Saturday, but same with Mystic Timbers, but the whole thing was that, like, you know, the trains to me are more comfortable because they're PTCs, even though they're like the single, like, ratcheting bar.
Yeah, and they're 3 bench trains, and the third row of any car is the roughest.
Yeah, you know, and I got multiple rides on the Beast. I got a front row, I got a second row, I got a back row. You know, I got more rides on Mystic. I think I did 4 or 5 on Beast and like 6 on Mystic. So I actually ended up getting more Mystic Timbers rides in because if for some reason I just ended up doing it that way. And yeah, like the Beast is just so like it had been hyped up for me for years as an enthusiast. Oh, the Beast. Well, some people was like, oh, the Beast is good. Oh, the Beast isn't that great. You know, the Beast is kind of lackluster compared to what we have now. So I'm like, oh, you know, and also another kind of thing that's probably making me a little more biased. The Beast had probably been my number 1 Woody, bucket list Woody, besides the Voyage. And for a while it was Beast, Voyage, RF2. I've done the Beast, and I will tell you, the Beast is a beast. It's good. But now you may go to Kings Island and say Mystic is definitely better.
I am ready to go into that park thinking Mystic is better. I have a bad feeling I'm going to hate Beast.
I went into the park thinking Mystic is... I left my expectations with Mystic's going to blow me away. The Beast is going to be a good ride. I walked out saying the Beast is incredible. Mystic was almost just as good.
So, who knows? I could look at this podcast episode a year from now and say Beast is like one of the best coasters ever. I mean, I had this similar situation. I'm not going to spend long on this one, but I had this same situation with Phoenix at Knoebels when I went in August. Because back in 2020, when I met the Rye guy, I'm like, and I quote, Phoenix is a glorified Comet. You know, referring to the Woodstock Express clones. And I'm like, whenever I get to Knoebels, I'm going to hate that coaster. That thing's going to be mid. Twister is obviously the better ride. However, as soon as I got off my first back row ride on Knoebels of Phoenix, I don't know why I worded it that way, but I'm like, holy shit, this coaster's elite. And contrary to popular belief, this is going to trigger you. It's in my top 5. It's literally over RF2. It's my number 4 coaster. Number 5 right now, currently. Excuse me. And I mean, will Beast live up to the hype of like Phoenix or something? Absolutely not.
I haven't ridden Phoenix. I haven't ridden Phoenix. So like, I'm going to go there eventually for sure. But like, that's not a bucket list one. But like, you know, if that's cool to me. Like I said, I think definitely the Beast at Kings Island is definitely being my number 1 is definitely more controversial than that. But like, you know, I can respect that. I think Phoenix looks like a good ride. I think it has amazing airtime. Twister looks alright too. But I think I'll still prefer the Beast over both of them, actually. But I never know. I might get there right at Phoenix and say, holy crap, you know?
That kind of ends on a very classic coaster enthusiast bashing way, as we say. So I'm going to wrap up this episode here by saying thank you so much, Colton, for being on this episode. It's been a huge hell of a pleasure on here, and I hope you guys made it to the end. The salt was unbelievably real in this one. And so, again, as a final reminder, where can you find where they can find you?
I am on Instagram, YouTube, and, well, okay, yeah, Instagram, YouTube, not TikTok. I'm not on TikTok at all. And where else am I? Podcast. I'm on my Philstop podcast as well.
And you can hear Colton's version of this episode on his podcast. I assume it's released way before mine because, well, I'm once a month and he's a little more frequent. Yeah. But, yeah, you can listen to his version where he interviews me and vice versa. So you kind of have to have as I say in the Fairly Odd Parents, two halves of a whole idiot. I hope you had to enjoy that episode, and this will count as the March episode, so as a preview for April, I already have it set, which I haven't told you yet, actually. I'm going to give you a little preview, but it's actually an archived podcast, actually one of my senior projects in college, Violence in America's Theme Parks. We're going to play that little 20-minute short documentary, but also have my intake about violence in America's theme parks on top of that. So it's going to be a really fun podcast for the month of April. Talk about a rather sensitive subject, but I think it's a more important subject that everyone should be aware of. I was very passionate about this project in college, and I made several videos about it, so we'll probably play them all. But yeah, I don't usually have a set schedule, but that next month episode is going to be a real fun one. I'm your host, Jay Zamanek of Insane Coaster Junkie. That was Colton of Thrill Stop, and I'll see you guys in the parks very soon. Lux Eterna, Inamorata, Franzero.